What's up everyone, welcome to a new video. Long time no see, I am now back and first and foremost thank you all for congratulating me on my birthday. I'm now back from my break and roughly a month ago, I was asking every one of you what you think about the Fixa system. In this video, I would like to talk about the current Fixa system, what it's intended for and what it horribly fails at, and how we can improve it. I believe that I am doing SEGA's work, because the current system is sadly not working out well and not made in the favor of the players. I appreciate everyone's time in writing their opinion and feedback on the community post I made roughly a month ago, and I will introduce a few ways on how SEGA can change the Fixa system for the better. But before we get to that part, let's talk about the purpose of Fixas and how they work first. Let's start the video. For those of you who recently got into New Genesis and don't know why Fixas exist, they serve a purpose of powering up your weapon or unit by giving you more attack potency, defense, crit rate, less PP consumption and recovery, damage resistance, and more. Fixas are bound on both weapons and units, which makes them desirable if you want to strengthen up your equipment. However, these fixas stay on the gear that the Fixa was dropped with. While the Fixa transfer system exists, its biggest problem is that the fixas can only be transferred between the same weapon or unit, which means you must farm or buy a weapon with a Fixa that matches the exact type of yours. If you have a 8-star Neos wand, you cannot transfer a Fixa from a Neos Talus to your wand. It needs to be the same Neos Talus you were using. Let's assume you use the multi-weapon system and play mainly with a wand and multi-weaponed it with a Talus as your second weapon, and then get a Fixa drop for the Talus. You are out of luck, because the Talus is your secondary weapon, and not your main weapon. Can't you just change the order of your weapons? Switch the Talus with the wand? You could, but all of the work, potentials, enhancement and expensive augments won't transfer, so you are basically using your main weapon as a fodder. So in the end, you can go through the same pain of regearing again, or as long as the weapon is not account bound, sell it on the market. With account bound like the Neos series, and rare weapons like Relics, Ruggeds, and Gunblazes back in the day, it was too hard to even obtain a Fixa for them due to their past rarity. These weapons cost between 20 to 100 million meseta on average, and finding one with a Fixa was very rare, probably something like a 0.00001% drop rate chance, especially if you wanted a Fixa for the weapon you were using. Oh, a Fixa for the rugged knuckles with attack 3 for 100 million, but you are using a rugged rifle? Too bad. Deal with it. Either wait for a rugged rifle with Fixa attack to exist on the market, or multi-weapon it with the knuckles. There has not been a good solution for the Fixa system yet, as mentioned with the examples I've given you. With too much RNG involved, players don't feel like bothering with Fixas, considering the strongest weapons currently are either too rare and expensive to get in the first place, or account bound, forcing you to run content the whole time, or not even giving you the opportunity to farm Fixas, like the Kaisar weapon series, which you spend weeks on crafting. While I agree that the current content doesn't necessarily require Fixas, they can easily help you clear them faster and with ease. I believe we will eventually get to a point where Fixas will matter, and they should, or SEGA should completely remove them altogether, if they serve no purpose. All this makes it a problem for lots of players, like me. Why does this system even exist, if it's so anti-consumer and inaccessible for our playstyles? This is why I am making this video, to do the work for SEGA, introducing multiple solutions to the system. The first solution I am presenting is what most people within the community have been requesting for a long time. Make all Fixas transferable between all types of weapons and units. This solution would reduce and cure a lot of headaches, as it's the most convenient one for the player. It would also make every weapon and unit with Fixa valuable, similarly to base PSO2 where even 1-star gear was worth meseta, as augments were bound on gear in the past, unlike in New Genesis, where they only exist as a capsule. I like this idea myself, but it comes with a few problems and drawbacks. It would make gear with Fixa 5 worthless over time, as more of it will drop, and you can always transfer the Fixa to your newest gear without any restrictions. That would cause people to buy out the whole market of the most desired Fixas, and people will hoard them for future weapons, while always generating a demand for them. If SEGA changes the Fixa transfer system to work with all types of gear like I've mentioned, then market manipulation is inevitable, and I don't want to be blamed for it if it happens, lol. However, if you can just easily transfer Fixas from any category to another, players would only buy 4 times the highest Fixa for their weapon and units, and call it a day. With new gear, they would just transfer their current Fixa to the new series for several years if no additions to the system were made, and high-tier Fixas will be worthless if the drop rate is too high, or the demand is too small. Like with the augment market, SEGA would need to push out more Fixa tiers if they want to profit off it, by making sure players keep farming Fixas and selling them on the market. At the current moment, it is just too rare to have them drop on you, and hoping you get it for the right weapon and series. If SEGA is not going to add new Fixa tiers, then any transferred Fixa should not only bind the weapon it is transferred to, but also make the Fixa bound to the weapon as well, not allowing to transfer the bound Fixa to a new weapon, so that all current Fixa will be used and stay relevant, without needing to add more. The second solution is making all Fixas transferable within the same gear series. This is in my opinion the most balanced one that does not need SEGA days, weeks or even months to implement. It is very balanced, as every one of us will be using the highest rarity gear possible, driving a good chunk of supply and demand for those weapons. This also helps to get a Fixa on the Neos weapons easily, as you won't have to pray for the exact same weapon with the Fixa to drop. Sadly, the only problem is that it won't fix the lack of Fixas for ultra-rare weapons that are marketable or can't receive a Fixa at all, so expect to be left out with no Fixa if they release a new weapon series of those, which is why I believe there needs to be even a better solution, which I will talk about now. The third idea, my personal one, would be to put Fixas as a standalone material and insert them into the drop pool. To spice things up a little, I would bring the appraising feature back from PSO2, and turn the Fixa drops into unidentified Fixas. If you get an unidentified Fixa from an urgent quest, you need to talk to the item enhancer, and let them identify your Fixas, which could be any available Fixa currently, coming with any type of level. If you choose to pay an extra meseta fee, you can decide if the Fixa you are appraising is meant for a weapon or unit. A shiny rainbow unidentified Fixa would mean that the Fixa is at least level 3 or above. The now identified Fixas can be used on your gear, sold on the market or traded up with percent chances. If you don't get the Fixa you like, you can also try your luck at leveling up your Fixa. In base PSO2, augments could be traded up to a higher level. If you use 2 Mastery 3s as an example, you could make Mastery 4 with a percent chance, which was not always a 100%. I would like to see a similar system to return for Fixas. You can level up your Fixas by using 10 of the same level. If you use 10 Fixas with Attack 1, you will receive an Attack 2 Fixa. Using 10 Attack 2s would return you an Attack 3 Fixa. You can also manipulate the chances by using less popular Fixas and adding the Fixa you want, all behind a gacha system. Let's say you want to make a cheap Fixa Attack 5, but buying 10 Attack 4s is too expensive. You can buy only 4 of them and fill the 6 remaining Fixas with something like Fixa for Enthusia. This would not only make all types of Fixas desirable, but also add another way to make money on the market. And the last idea on how to improve the system that I've seen people suggest and I've been thinking of is crafting Fixas. And I cannot tell you how much I want crafting back in this game. Yes, bring crafting back. We've seen something similar with the Cuckoo weapons, where we can craft a Cuckoo weapon with Fixa 3 if we have enough Inferium to trade in. What if we could craft our own Fixas that can be used on any type of gear? How about we can break down weapons that have Fixas and receive materials in return? Call it Fixiarium, or something. Any Fixa weapon that already exists will be broken down, and you get a set amount of Fixiarium. The higher the rarity, the more Fixiarium you get. To craft your own Fixa, you talk to the item enhancer NPC, and select which Fixa you like to craft. The weapon rarity and Fixa level determines the amount of Fixiarium you get, which in return lets you buy and craft Fixas from a Fixa exchange shop. This idea does not involve incredible RNG, encourages people to play the game and won't disappoint you if you get a Fixa on the wrong gear set. It guarantees that you will get the Fixa you desperately want, except for the fact that gear needs to drop with Fixa. It makes old gear relevant, and hence can be used to improve your weapons and units. With the Ultra Evolution update coming out in June, do you think they will adjust or change the current Fixa system the way we know it? My gut feeling tells me they will, and I believe they should. Which system appeals to you the most, and which one would you like to see SEGA implement for the future of New Genesis? Let me know your opinion in the comments below. Also, feel free to provide feedback about any of the Fixa systems mentioned in the video. I would like to thank my channel members for supporting the channel, it really means a lot to me, and if you like to support my content as well, scroll down to the video description. I will now be working on more videos now, so I will see you in the next video. Bye bye!